episode
Okay.
as customer content. We like some customer input. Would it be okay if we had both dads hop on the episode tonight? You just have to give your personal opinions on stuff. You don't have to leave the show at all.
Come on in. Not everybody at once.
Do we need another chair?
No, we got two.
Yeah.
Oh,
Edward shoots the show.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
we got one. We got one.
Wow.
we got one. Is Edward on the show tonight?
Yeah,
No, but
the
we have
camera
this,
won't turn
just
far
one
enough.
microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is at Mike's mic.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we
It'll
can
work
rotate
better.
out.
Yeah, we can rotate whatever.
Okay, cool.
We can put our Mike's microphone on this side, maybe.
Yeah, we can.
Well, yeah, right there.
We can
And
put it in
then
the middle. We get both dads. It'd be
Put them in the
cool.
middle. Yeah, that'll be good. People just look here.
There we go.
Fix it.
You gotta share with your dad, Max. Dad did teach you to share.
No, sharing. No.
Why is if I put a smiley
I guess
face
we
on
got
mine?
It's not good. It's not good.
Also, what's the address?
I don't know.
1202 East Mountain Street.
1202.
East Mountain Street.
Got it. So we're gonna need to watch out for this guy because we got so many doors.
Ready?
All right.
No.
Whoops, the chosen address is outside. Okay.
I mean, if you want to start.
Dang, sound like we ain't gonna be able to get that today.
I don't think we are. I think they don't deliver out here. Bad luck, guys.
Dang, that's some hullabaloo.
Yeah.
Well, y'all did bring the tools, so we could just switch that out, and then we could prepare that for next week.
Well, the tools are gonna be part of the episode. We can do a top 5 or something. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Ready?
Top 5 worst customer experiences ever.
Or we could just share.
Top 5 best customer experiences.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
We'll keep it positive. Yeah, we'll keep it positive.
I can give you a 1968 chop shop example.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
That where
That ought to be
your
a good one.
grandfather got taken big time.
we can just do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we know what we're doing here.
Look, it's perfect.
You have a flashlight, and then we're gonna pull our flashlights, and we'll introduce the episode to you, and then we got a meeting about your episode for next week. Plus, we're doing
Jazz.
jazz next week.
Because I was week before last.
Before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be hers.
Oh. Yeah,
Since
I gotta do what I'm
10.
supposed to know how to do. All right. Okay. Where you shooting?
Not yet. Not yet.
I'll leave on. Back.
It's that, yeah, it's the AC. We could turn that off real quick.
Is it working?
Can I
I'm
get something
cold,
to
so
drink?
I'm good to
Just in
turn
case
it
I get
off.
a scratchy
Don't
throat?
I can read.
I'm pulling the hoodie off.
Water, another Coke. I just don't want to be coughing on the ear.
Just hit that flip. Use the first one.
Let me make this call real quick while we waiting. 2 seconds. Excuse me. Slap it.
Yeah, since we're not on here yet, I'll be very brief.
Where's Gary?
Your grandfather was taking us to the beach, you know.
Where's Gary? He's in the-
1964.
Hello.
Keys. Hey. So what's going on?
I'm pretty sure, 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure they need.
Okay, solutions, babe. I've been gone for 30 minutes. We ain't thought of nothing yet.
The only solution I can think of would be to call someone. I'm on the phone with my mom now. She said to call emergency.
So,
Okay.
hacer hacer un
Okay.
seminario
De
de 2 horas y media. De 2 horas y media y yo solo interactuaba.
You're probably gonna have to do that anyway, regardless, because we don't have full coverage insurance on that vehicle. Yeah, that's why I was, kind of hoping that you would call somebody instead of just calling your mama.
Well, I'm assuming that he was kind of shady. He was supposed to show you everything.
Well, back then, they didn't even push all the way out.
Okay, well, let me see what's going on real quick. And we literally about to start the episode. All right, we'll figure something out.
Exactamente. BJ,
I think
You
she
okay?
locked her keys in the car.
Huh?
I think she locked her keys in the car.
Who?
My girlfriend.
You need to go up there?
I think so.
You need to use my car?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What did you need?
But you're coming back with my car, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have no car. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
No, all right, something quick. Come on.
Yeah. That's what I was asking.
So, the consulting that I have,
Showed up and everything was broken on the car, even though.
Well, there was a special showing how they check your belt and it's all of a sudden cut. And,
Oh yeah,
and
well, I've seen that. It's got the glove with the little piece of razor blade in it.
yeah, and it was just like it was scripted. Everything was on this show about it. These chop shops happened to my dad that day.
Well, I think something that I definitely know is a fact is when your average shop manager, shop foreman shows you what's wrong with your car. If he really did figure out what's wrong, they're usually excited about it and they go into detail and they want to show you.
Right.
The shop where they're, you say what's wrong, they give you a few words, or they say, obviously your belt broke, so forth and so on, and then they don't show you up close. They keep you as far away from it as possible.
Kind of seems like they're trying to hide something or cover something, almost like when you have a comeback.
Yeah, because I guarantee if he used a razor blade to cut my grandfather's belt, he's not going to go right up to him and show him that the belt was cut by his razor blade. He's going to
Just show him that
he's
it's
going to show
broken.
him over here,
Yeah.
He's not going to increase the microscope, and that's
Right.
a lot of customers, most customers that we interact with, when we need to pull the microscope out, which is what we have here. When we notice that they've already had some transparency, but not enough,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why they're concerned. That's why they're paranoid.
And these are tools
the
that,
experience.
obviously we use to diagnose, but we can also use as
We can
show and
we
tell.
can redo what we did. We already found the area. It takes us 8 seconds to redo a quick smoke test or show them what we found on the multimeter.
Or
once
the
we
scope.
know what we're looking at.
Horoscope,
Right.
hole in
And
the
then
piston.
point at it, show it, and move on. Instead of, letting a customer wander home, worried about their service, or wait 2 days while you're finishing a big job and the whole time the customer's stressed out.
Right.
And you didn't notice.
Well, the advantage that people have today that he did not have was like maps, Google Maps, where they can rank that station. So you're coming in from out of town now in the current day, and you can check that and look at how many reviews there is. You get a pretty good idea whether you should even begin to stop. Back then, that did not exist.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You wanna
made
sit
it
down and
easier
take
to be shady.
Yeah.
yes,
Because
Yeah.
you'd have people drop by anyway.
Yes.
Well, a lot of
Go on,
shops
go on,
would
sit down.
actually set up with
Go
the
on.
intent of all one-time customers.
Yeah.
And they basically take them for everything they're worth and not worry about the fact.
see you that right here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dad, you want to move up here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I mean to move
I guess I did that.
Steve's laptop.
Yeah.
You want to move to the laptop before you go?
Oh, are you going?
Girl locked her keys in the car.
Oh no. What? Well, shucks.
Right.
Okay. So this is a nice episode, family, right?
Yeah.
Right, family, Max, right?
Yeah,
That's
just-
right, family.
Bring that to work.
Yeah.
Take your dad to work.
Bring that to work then.
Tony here? Edward's here.
No, I'm gonna leave it a little bit. So.
Yeah.
No,
No, look good. This is perfect.
It's perfect, yeah.
Bring that to work.
Okay.
Check.
Or to podcast.
All right. Well, you might want to give your flashlight back if you still have it.
Well, we could have held that till next week, man. You'd have loved it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be
You guys
right
want to
back.
put the AC on or
Oh, you're coming. You're coming back.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay,
Right back.
so we'll just.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get your earphones? Check your earphones. You guys ready?
Yeah.
You want to check your
Yeah.
all right. You do a real quick test.
Y'all enjoy it.
Test.
Test.
Testing.
That's
Hey,
great.
you got a voice, man.
Yeah.
You got the voice.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, Edward. ¿Ya están listos?
Cut it at 40.
No, pero ahorita se movieron todos, entonces
No,
no quiero
no,
cortar
no.
mucho.
Oh,
Ajá.
We're already at 5.
Que hagan la introducción ahora.
We're not shooting yet.
It's going.
Well, it shouldn't be.
So we're gonna stop it and get it started, right? Because
We gotta stop and start.
Because
Yeah.
BA
Because Edward messed everything up.
most of the time.
It's Edward's
kind of
fault.
the time.
Blame Edward.
Hey, you don't do the intro, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
You
No.
didn't say it was. You didn't say shoot, Edward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
Well-
say cut either.
What we're gonna do
No
with this
shoot,
director,
no cut.
right? He don't
No
even know the
episode.
I say you ready, and you just start to talk.
Oh no, we weren't shooting. I wasn't listening. Which is never my fault because I'm a store manager, so nothing's ever my fault.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is how that gets to work.
It so does though.
You good
I
now?
try to make sure it doesn't happen the best I
Alright.
can. I
You
catch
guys
myself and
ready?
be like, no, I'm not going to use that power to do that. It's not a good way to use the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mechanic to Mechanic. We got a really special episode. We got some customers who are also dads of both myself and Max.
Welcome.
If you don't mind, guys, we'll go and clock. We'll go on a clock. Oh, we got to start over.
Don't worry about
I
it.
messed it up.
Yeah.
All right.
You was out for a little while, that's why, when you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I'm
right?
rusty.
He didn't
Yeah.
bring us in last week.
Yeah, I know. Be you. Crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Right, okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mechanic. My mic's way too loud. It's cracking.
Edward, the microphone is
Yeah,
too
you
loud.
can reset
He'll
it.
cut it.
yeah, I just added it.
This one?
The microphone.
Yeah, it's my voice is cracking. It's picking up too much. Hey. I'm trying to. Hey. A little lower. Just a tiny bit. Hey. There we go. We're good. All right. Perfect. Yeah, it's gonna come through like trash if I kept talking.
Okay. You can pick him up from there.
Reset. Good. Hey everybody, welcome to Mechanic to Mechanic. I'm Brandon, and we got, of course, Max and two customers that are here today who are also our dads.
Hey.
So I'm going to introduce my father. This is Scott Mazzell, and Max,
This is Terry Jr.
Terry Jr. You're junior or his junior?
He's junior.
Oh, okay.
I'm senior.
You're senior.
And
He's
Max Jr.
Max
Right.
Jr. I got you. I'll understand it.
It goes
eventually.
down. Yeah,
It goes down and up at the same time.
exactly.
Got you.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, well, welcome everybody. We've got a really, I think what you would consider a intuitive episode based on the customers today. Store managers need to pay attention. This is for you guys too, but especially for the customers. We want you to know what you can ask for. We want you to know what experiences you can expect when a store manager is trying to explain your services and help you understand what you need done to your car. This is an episode that Max really has a lot of information on and a passion for. So I'm going to turn the time over to Max and let him introduce what we'll be talking about today.
Max here from Twin City. We're going to go ahead and start off today talking about building customer trust and, most importantly, shop transparency.
Yeah.
That is, transparency from the time you walk in the door, from prices of services, and without all those, quoting everything properly up front. That way, there's no hidden fees on the backside or unexpected things that come up. Obviously, they do occasionally, but if your shop is consistently adding things on the back end,
Right.
that kind of decreases transparency. And
Unexpected things is a good point. Those can be one of those moments, when you need to reevaluate what the customer is seeing.
Yeah. One of the other things would be, just seeing some of the tools and inquiring about or showing. Prime example, we do show and sells with waiter oil changes. So customer comes out, we use, some small, simpler tools like tread depth gauges, which we didn't bring with us today. And
or the pad wear gauges.
The pad wear
first
gauges.
two big ones.
Two big ones. That's a quick, easy one. Stick it right in between the pad backing and the rotor, and it'll show you how many millimeters you're at. And almost all of them that I've seen have been color coded to a green, yellow, red. So there's a couple green ones showing, yes, these brake pads are good, tolerable thicknesses. Down to yellow, these are getting kind of worn out. We need to start addressing this soon, or definitely keep an eye on it. And then you're down into the red where, hey, it's time to replace these. And so it's a visual aid as well.
Do you have any recent experiences where you knew a customer needed to see that?
Yes, actually. The other week I had, of course, it's always with a state inspection.
Right.
The tires, the guy said, "Man, look at the amount of tread still left on these bad boys. I can run them until they're slicks."
Uh-huh.
Well, according to the state of North Carolina, no, you cannot.
You can't.
And
Okay.
this is where the gauge comes into play, where you lay it on there, and they can clearly see green, yellow, red. The red's up here showing this doesn't pass state inspection standards.
That's a good one, actually, because I don't think there's a single store manager out there who hasn't had to explain that we can't let you continue on these tires. Have you guys had state inspections where your tires did not quite make it through?
I was my son, of course, when he asked a question, he knows me, I'm guilty already. So
Yeah, I do.
makes for an interesting discussion. You remember the green Aspire?
I absolutely do, and I thought you might talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking about it the whole time. One thing that you guys can do, you get somebody that's maybe 50 years old, thinks he knows everything, comes in to get a set of just the front tires. The back tires are almost totally slick. And this customer who thinks he knows everything doesn't realize what can happen in a rainstorm. So what is it that happens to a rainstorm? I can attest to it, but I'm sure.
Hydroplaning. Yeah.
Well,
and that's
Slickest
actually
when it first rains.
the hardest tire to sell is a tire that has a little bit of tread, but is at the wear bar. And most customers don't understand that the wear bar is there for what?
That it's got that depth that what's the proper term?
It could
Disperses the water
right,
properly.
right. So it can no longer disperse.
Doesn't
water.
have a deep enough channel.
Technically,
Right.
it's slick. Looks like it has tread, but yeah, we can't. As a shop, we do care about your safety. We do really want you to understand that at that wear bar, you're no longer on tires that have tread on them in the rain, which means every time you try to pass over a puddle, standing water of any sort, you're going to hydroplane. You're not going to cut through that water. That's the indicator that those channels are no longer connected, even though they might look like they are.
Yeah. Now, another thing that I'm sure you pass on to your customer, if you're going to let there be less tread, where is that less tread supposed to go, in the front or the back?
Right.
It all depends. And this is
to
an
pass state
actual
inspection, it has to be on both.
Yes.
Well, yes, but when you're referring to passable numbers
It's all the same.
going
Yeah.
to the front and the rear, it all
Yeah.
depends on rear wheel drive, front wheel drive.
Yeah.
And it also is a very long-standing argument in the automotive community
What-
where I've argued with guys till I'm blue in the face about these tires when they're new need to go on the front, or they're new they need to go on the back.
Yeah.
There's arguments both ways, so it's kind of one of those things like, does electricity flow negative to positive or positive to negative? That's always
Well,
good
experience
argument.
is the best teacher.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And if
Oh,
you
yeah.
survive the experience, it's even better.
Well, my father's car, after not purchasing all four tires with proper tread on them, ended up in a bunch of trees, and my dad had nothing but a scratch on his forehead.
Holy smokes.
God looking out for sure, because
Yeah.
that car was totaled.
Yeah. What, to keep it brief, what happened is it was a front wheel drive, is the old Ford Aspire, I think it was called.
It was a
Yeah.
Ford
And,
Escort,
they-
1993, I believe.
Yeah. And I had brand new tires on the front and slick on the back. Now, I was coming over this hill. It was raining to where there was standing water, and it was
Right.
just a 2-lane road with no traffic. What I ended up doing was I said, I can't hit the brakes because I know these tires in the back are bad. But I let off the gas a little bit. And standing water, you don't want to do that.
You stop moving those front wheel drive tires, like Max was talking about, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. You can no longer pull yourself through the problem, so
Yeah.
you just start skidding. You start skiing like you're on a boat. So
To make it
Back end, like
to make it
back end
short,
starts to jump out.
to be very brief about this, a young guy about 13, 14 years old that worked for the local tow truck company, and I won't name it right now, but he told me what I needed to do. He said instead of letting off the gas when it started sliding in the back, I was supposed to increase the speed because the only thing biting is the front.
Yep.
And so every time I turned, it swung more and more and more and more.
Well,
and finally I was off the road.
that we don't want you guys to have to do that technique. It is good for you guys to know. What I want to focus on right now is actually for the store managers or the supervisors that are talking to you guys. you've got to be able to catch when you need to bring the person out to the tires and show them the wear bar.
Yep.
Show that we have tread and then we have wear bar, and there's no gap in between, meaning we've reached the wear bar. Now, Max, I want to ask you a question because you're preparing to be a store manager eventually, right? We're working on a new location for Twin City. When the customer sees that the tire is at the wear bar and still doesn't agree that is the fact, right? You're wanting them to understand that you're presenting an actual fact. Do you stop with just showing them the tread, or do you go deeper?
A lot of times I try and go a little bit deeper into it. Good tool is always the state inspection poster on the wall. That states very clearly 330 seconds. That's your limit. There is other visual aids that I've seen in different shops, more commonly in a tire shop.
On the wall and
things like that. They have signs showing,
there's signs out there that show if you're going to have slightly heavier on a front wheel drive like that, you need to have the heavier in the back, not the front, even though it's not driven from the back. So, and that's that poster that I remember seeing. I won't name where I saw it, but you can look at that for 5 seconds and oh, I can't do this stupid thing I'm about to do.
Both have been out there on posters, but it actually has been confirmed that on the front wheel drive car, you need the traction on the front. So,
well, you do, but if you have bald in the back and tread on the front, then your back end will try to pass you when you slow down.
More likely to slide out, but you get that traction on the front to pull out of it.
Yeah, that's the part I did not know.
That's why you put the tread on the front.
Yep.
It has been presented professionally and factually by the industry both ways. Yeah. But as of now, we do know that you need to be able to power out of a what's called a understeer situation.
Yep.
Understeer situation. I'm getting oversteer, understeer, and by getting extra traction for those tires. On the subject of displays, I'm assuming you've been into some shops and seen the displays. Have you had any experiences where somebody actually was able to use those to help you understand something you did not previously understand?
Yeah, the graphics and stuff on some of those posters and things help the average automotive owner to understand a little better. And you're going to talk about shop transparency and trust with your customers a little bit. And I have a little story to share about that. When I was young and first started teaching school, and I went in and I thought I just had one bad tire, and pretty soon they showed me everything that was wrong with my car.
You got to see it on the lift, right?
I got to see it on the lift. I got to, they brought me a belt like you had told a story earlier on, and whether the belt was really bad or they helped it out or whatever,
right?
It hurts the customer trust more than that little bit of business that they're going to get,
right?
So then I never went back to that place, and that was
they're saying one thing but showing you something that clearly could hang in there,
showing me other things, and I thought I was in there for one bad tire. Pretty soon I'm $3,000 out of pocket, and brand new tires on everything,
all four corners,
and then belts,
new
new batteries, everything that I needed. So customer trust is very important, and the transparency that you're going to talk about in today's podcast, I think, is very important.
I'm gonna assume when they built such a large ticket, they probably had details on what you actually needed, but did not go into a lot of detail on all these other items.
That's correct. And also, I feel like the customer, when that happens to them one time, you grow up real fast and you learn
you already
how to be the man of your vehicle.
Right.
So I learned real fast as a young man, just first newly married, and I wanted it to be perfect because we were going to be hauling our babies, and you want everything to be right for your vehicle, but you learn real fast of what you need and what you don't need, and that's why customer trust is very important. Graphics help explain things. A mechanic that's calm and can show you something and discuss it with you is very important. And so I'm glad you guys are having a podcast tonight on that.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That's
Yeah.
really good input, actually. We're about to go into detail on some tools that we can use in those situations. And I think a good pointer for all of us is when we're building a ticket for a customer, if you can say in your own mind that on this singular item, let's say there's 18 things of huge ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on this one item, I have not only, I know that it's broken, but I have tools that can show that it's broken. That's a good indicator that you actually need to sell that item.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you stop at, I'm pretty sure that this is a little bit worn out, but you can't pull a tool to explain why it's worn out to go into enough detail, it's probably not worn out enough.
Kind of like that wheel bearing that's not quite making that noise and also has no play in it. But
if you can put a stethoscope on it and you can barely hear a noise and you don't think the customer's going to hear it, should you sell the wheel bearing?
Probably not.
Probably
not time. It's probably time to tell them that it's getting close.
If you're scared to use the tool that shows that shows the customer that the part is ready to be replaced, then don't sell the item.
Speaking of stethoscope, I believe you brought one.
I did. I did bring a stethoscope.
Let's play doctor.
Let's play doctor. Okay, cool. So let's visual aids, guys. This is the cool part of the episode. All right, so we are car doctors. We have all kinds of tools that doctors have. Actually,
take those from me.
No, these are mine.
Just like mine.
They probably do. They're probably from the same place. Harbor Freight.
Yes, sir.
But we have about every tool that a doctor has, down to the X-rays and scopes and graphs and picks.
Knives.
We got hammers, and not for doing the knee jerk test, but smacking things on a car. I mean, it still counts, right?
I got one that works for it.
A pry bar works for that. You know, on the joints, we put a pry bar on there, see if the joints are working properly. So this is one of our tools that, you know, we use as employees and store managers and mechanics to determine whether or not that specific item, I got one right here, is bad. You can put it on that nut connected to that component and listen. Whatever component is the loudest is the one actually causing the noise, right?
So you guys maybe have seen somebody use a screwdriver.
Have either of y'all seen one of these before?
That
is a crime
I believe
thing.
so, but I've never had one.
I'm serious. So how old are you, Dad?
I'm 60 plus. 65.
60 plus. Okay.
61.
61. Okay, we're owning our age today. In 60, let's go with 60 years. Sorry about that. In 60 years, both dads here on the show have not had a supervisor of a shop or a mechanic pull this tool out. So we're keeping them to ourselves, right? And when we keep these tools to ourselves, when we know that we've done the process of finding the problem, we notice the customer's uncomfortable, and instead of showing them, what do you think is happening with these managers?
I guess they're folding.
Right, folding under the pressure,
or maybe they don't know how to properly explain it in some cases.
Yeah. Or the store manager is not a mechanic and doesn't know how to explain what was done.
That happens quite a bit.
That does.
Unfortunate. My store
Well, I
manager
imagine too that when you use one of those, because your customer's not familiar with it, if you're trying to let him independently discover what you've already found,
right?
You can tell him, okay, here's this. Go ahead and feel 2 or 3 other spots on the engine and see if you agree.
You can see multiple.
So that actually leads into a lot of what I do personally to help with those things that are actually bad that need to get replaced. Is nobody wants to go in like they've come into both, you know, that happened to your dad, that happened to you. You come in and they tell you all these things that's wrong with your car. Where's the positivity in any of that? You know what I mean? It's just words. It's just a bunch of words. A lot of times, like earlier this week, I had a customer in 100,000 mile vehicle. It was like 98,000. We started talking about 100,000 mile services, all these things that we need to get done. But I started off by saying, look, I've checked your service history and they've done this, this, and this. I checked over the fluids, the coolant level, you know, and the coolant still tests good, which is with a hydrometer. Right. You can visually show that. You can test a sample. Brake fluids. You
pull transmission fluid.
Show them the quality of it. You can you take a brake fluid tester that tests for moisture content and the brake fluid. all those things. And those are tests that I can easily show a customer if their stuff is in good shape. You know, look at all these things that are going well for you. Let's take care of these couple things that aren't going so well for you. You know, because a lot of people, when they see these more expensive repair bills or 18 items that need to get taken care of, their immediate thought is, man, I'm just going to get rid of this car.
Well, they're starting to add up how much of this is BS, right?
And
the more
right?
items you add, the more you need to explain. I believe
absolutely, because you should be able to prove anything that's
right. The more you need to pull these tools out.
Do you find that customers' trust increases when you tell them this is your urgent, this is medium, this is long term?
Absolutely.
So that he can get by with a much lower immediate bill on what he's going to have to pay.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You've got to do that. You should always break down what needs to be done
and even
what
give
doesn't
them,
need to be done immediately.
I try and go a little bit above and beyond what other places do, and I'll try and say, hey, and I'll speak to them like, let's build a game plan. Not only does that put in their mind that, hey, this guy's looking out for my best interest and not trying to kill me right now and hit me over the head with a bill, but I'm basically expecting him to come back, right?
Right.
So by me saying, hey, on your next visit or the third visit, you might not, this might be your first time visiting me, but you're already thinking about the next time coming in.
Well, yeah, you're already prepared for what might be due next.
And what is something that we need to keep an eye on, you know? I make notes of this and we'll talk about it next time you come in.
Well, you've already established trust, even if that guy's coming in for the first time. And if he really believes in you with the way you handled that and the way you divided it out to keep him on the lowest cost out of the parking lot,
right?
Then he's not going to want to go to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was actually going to ask everybody at the table, especially you, JR. How would you have reacted if that young man had let you listen to your bad wheel bearing?
Well, that would have helped a lot. And there were other tools that people have shown me different things, and they're helpful.
I'm assuming
just like when you go to the doctor for yourself, you know, you have a schedule of things that you want to do. Your car, your vehicle needs the same kind of treatment. So you lay out a schedule and you build that trust and you say, these are the things that I think are most important priority.
Yeah.
And then these are the next things that you should do the next time you're here. And if they can pull out a tool and show you a few of these things and show you, you know, some of the tools you're going to go through today probably have gauges on them.
They do.
And you know, a display where you can see a number and you can give them a range of numbers that this means this and this means that. And this means it's time for something new. So just like going to the doctor, you want to take care of your vehicle the same way, and then it'll last longer, just like your body.
Yeah, and by going over the list, we show I'm guessing you'd assume if this guy's smart enough to differentiate between what I do and what I don't need, he's probably a more intelligent technician, not less. Whereas somebody who just presents everything as level 10, top to bottom, it shows the ignorance.
Yeah,
I think it.
Priority systems are big. That's one thing that I will say we benefit from is being able to say, hey, priority one, this is you know, safety items as a a wheel bearing, broken tie rod, bad tire, something like that. That's going to be a P1, but maybe your coolant or your brake flush, that's a P3. That's a maintenance item, right? So that's like third down on the list.
Unless it literally has floaties in it from the amount of rust it has. Now I make that P1, but
super contaminated or a squishy brake pedal, brake fluid's going up to a P1. But
transparent brown brake fluid could actually hang there for a little bit.
It might last until your next oil change.
Right, you might have another oil change in there.
Right,
definitely not.
Could create
normally
a new problem.
P1, right?
Could create
and then also that creates the thought of next time I get my oil change,
maybe I should.
I'm going to need to, I'm going to need to spend a little bit more this time around. Because you get that all the time. I only got enough for the oil change today. And
well,
then you
probably only do have enough for the oil change today. We as store managers need to believe that more, right?
I mean,
figure out how much somebody actually has to take care of the car. What's your budget? What do you actually have to get back on track today?
Right. And then there's also other options you guys use up front. Payment options of
my first option, and I'm not going to lie, is how much do you have, and can I fit in everything you absolutely need for drivability if I discount down to that $1?
Right.
That way I'm not putting them on a card. And then of course, second is definitely a card, a good card. By the way, everybody, Synchrony Car Care card is a very good card. We're not sponsored by Synchrony Car Care at all. but that card has no pitfalls for the customer as long as you're astute and you pay attention to the card. It's a useful card, and that's the one I typically recommend. I've been at multiple locations.
Yeah,
Recommend it every time.
Yep.
I'm assuming y'all
we
use the same
use
one.
that same
Yeah.
one. Yep.
And we're not the same shop, so
Nope.
yeah, we're both using the same card. I might tell you something. You were pointing at something.
Yeah. So we were talking about
Yep.
different aids visually as far as small measuring tools, things like that can help gauge things. We talked about some listening devices. That way you can hear audible sounds. What do you got for me?
So this is a bore scope with a dexterous end. I'm gonna get you to move.
That's fancy.
Oh, wow.
Mine doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I got a little magnet hook though.
And it also has a picture taking button, and
You can record video as well.
I can record video as well. Very bright light on the end to go down those holes. I actually just used this the other day.
I had to
With
use
a-
mine the other day
with
as
a
well.
band.